Hello and welcome to another Wineword Italy review. Today I'm going to be looking at two wines from Liguria. First again for me. Let's see where we're going. We're going to the land of the Cinque Terre, the five lands. Where is it? Well, let's just check it on the map. This is the coast of Ligurian Sea. Genova is up this way. La Spezia is here. And this short strip of coast here is the Cinque Terre. It's very famous for its appearance. Its appearance is terraces, and the terraces were put there to grow wine. These are two wines from one producer, one small producer, who has renovated vineyards in that area. Let's have a look at these. First of all, we've got this Cinque Terre DOC Costa di Sèra. It is a white wine. Okay, it's 13% volume. That's the first one. The second is in this rather beautiful packaged box. Okay, it says Litàn, the name of the cantina, and Sciacchetrà. That is a rather special wine, only found in this part of the world. So, let's think first of all about the producer. Cantine Litàn is located in one of the most spectacular coastal areas of Italy, as I said, the Cinque Terre, and it's a very small producer. He has about 1 hectare of vineyards, but a huge amount of passion. The mission to breathe life back into the long-abandoned vineyards began 11 years ago in 2000. It was only after 6 years of seeming endless hard work and dedication that Cantine Litàn was started and named in honour of Grandpa Giulio, the grandfather of the current proprietors. Now, let's think about the location. The vineyards are almost inaccessible. They are on cliff tops falling steeply towards the Ligurian Sea. There's no road access at all. So that means that all tools, the fruit themselves when they're harvested, clippings, materials to repair the terraces, these all have to be carried in or out of the vineyards by hand. Now, fortunately, there's a small cooperative, the Cinque Terre cooperative. They've constructed a very simple rack railway. Nothing like you'll see in the Swiss Alps, but a very basic rack railway to help carry some of the heavier stuff, and when they're harvesting, to help move larger volumes of grapes up from the vineyards. Now, these two hard-won wines are produced there. The first, this one, the Costa di Sèra, is a Cinque Terre DOC, which is a very careful blend of 50% Bosco, 30% Vermentino, and 20% Albarola. I'll talk about these varietals right now. Okay, certainly you may not have heard of one or two, but let's think about them. First of all, Bosco. Okay, it was almost certainly a native Ligurian variety. It grows particularly well in the Cinque Terre. The name may refer to, as an origin to the story, that the first vines of this type, planted in Cinque Terre, were grown from cuttings originating in the woodland, that is the Bosco, surrounding the villa of the Marquises, the family named Durazzo, in Genova. So possibly that's the name of Bosco. Vermentino, probably better known variety, often associated with Sardinia, but it's cultivated over a very large area stretching from Languedoc-Roussillon in the south of France, right around a huge curve of land through Liguria down into Tuscany, as well as on the islands, the French island of Corsica and of course Sardinia. When in a position exposed to the sun, which most of this zone is, it ripens to a delightful yellow gold or amber colour. Now then, the third type of grape in here is the Albarola. That's much used in Liguria and Cinque Terre, but is also found in Tuscany. The good part is it consistently produces a large volume of fruit and, this is important, is ideal in cooler locations or areas frequently exposed to windy conditions. And certainly this stretch of the Italian coast is quite famous for its stormy weather. Wines from this varietal are often pale straw yellow with greenish reflections, so it gives a nice little colour. All of the grapes are manually harvested. Of course, it's impossible to get machinery in there. And then they're carefully transported up using the rack railway where possible to the winery. The stems are removed. The fruit is then macerated at 14 to 15 degrees C for about 36 hours. Then the skins are separated and fermentation with natural yeasts begins. That continues for 10 or 12 days at about 16 or 17 degrees centigrade. The wine is put to mature in stainless steel vats for at least 7 months. So there we are. There is the Costa di Sèra from Cantine Litàn. Now then, let's get some in the glass. Let's have a look at the colour. Oh, the name of the actual location I didn't mention, and I should because it's quite important, is Rio Maggiore. So look it up on Google Earth. Rio Maggiore. Have a close look on Google Earth and see what the terrain is actually like. Let's pop some in the glass. An extremely delicate colour. My goodness, look at that. Alright, let's pop that in front of a white paper. Hope you can see that. Hope you're getting a focus. Okay, it's straw yellow. Possibly a hint of gold in there, but it's really not particularly dark. But certainly it's not a pale straw yellow. It's a nice medium straw yellow. There it is. And absolutely crystal clear. Let's get the nose in and see what kind of sensations we're getting here. Oh, I'm in heaven. That's fresh. Smells like a very freshly picked set of grapes, really. It's light. We've got the minerally sensation. I've got almost salty. I can tell that's from lands by the sea. It's obvious when you've got wind coming off the sea all the time, spray, the soil is affected by the sea as well. You'll get some kind of sort of almost a saline element to the smell. Very, very pleasant. Okay, but certainly the overall sensation, fresh, minerally, light. Let's get the nose in. What did we say? It's 13%. And yeah, not so much alcohol coming up the glass. So it's slightly lighter than some of the wines I've tasted. Cin-cin. Ooh. That again is a pleasant surprise. I've got much more flavour than I would have expected. The colour is deceptive. It looks light, the nose is light, it's got a wide, broad, certainly it's fruity, dry, but pleasantly mineral. It's lovely. There's no any acidity that there might have been from the dry fruit there is balanced out with the saltiness. Very, very interesting. Unlike anything I've tried before, guys. It really is a new taste. Splendid. Okay. And once again, I'm selling it short. I'm drinking it alone. I don't mean I'm alone, although I am, but I'm drinking the wine without any respectful accompaniments. But what could it be? Well, certainly you've got the saltiness there. Put it with something from the sea, a really good fish dish, or a medium mature cheese. And I'm told of a very special medium mature cheese, used to be produced from goat's milk only, but current tastes having changed, people don't like something quite as strong. It's now produced with cow's milk. It's actually produced in Val d'Aveto, which is in Liguria, right on the border, up in the higher hills, the higher Apennini, on the border of Emilia-Romagna. It's called San Ste, which I believe is short for San Stefano, but don't quote me on it because I may be wrong. But certainly its origins were a goat cheese. It's now a cow's milk cheese. It's medium mature, very particular, and it would balance out. You've then got the local, this kind of slow food aspect, and that's something which is quite important here. We're not bringing things exports from outside the area. We're trying to keep things local. So, Cin-cin, here it is, Cinque Terre, DOC, Costa di Sèra, from Cantine Litàn. Beautiful labelling. There we are. Cin-cin. Right. Here we go. Wine number 2 from Cantine Litàn is the famous Sciacchetrà. This is a passito, that is a naturally sweetened wine from Cinque Terre. Again, it's a DOC. I've kept it in the box simply because I like the packaging, but it doesn't end with the box. This is a half bottle size. It's only 375 mils, but you'll find out why in a moment. But the bottle, compare it with a standard 75 centilitre bottle, is taller. It's a beautiful, elegant piece of packaging, and the label, there it is. I think possibly that's an image of the grandfather on the sheet. There he is on the label. Okay, let's think a little bit about this. Alright, before we even start talking about the colour, because I can't wait to get in there. The balance of varietals used is exactly the same as for the Costa di Sèra. 50% Bosco, 30% Vermentino, 20% Albarola. Now, of the total harvest at Cantine Litàn, about 25% is set aside for the production of Sciacchetrà. Okay? So once again, after picking and the laborious task of moving the crates up to the winery, the grapes are left to sweeten and dry. It's difficult enough to find a level area to put them, but in some way it's done. They lose most of their volume, obviously, as they're dried. They're put on specially made wood-framed drying sheets in a fresh, well-ventilated place. Now get this, for 45 to 60 days. It's a long sweetening process. Then they are hand destemmed and before the maturation with the addition of natural yeasts, which goes on for 12 to 14 days, and then there's a further fermentation of the must for 5 to 7 days. It's matured in stainless steel containers for at least 15 months, with a further 10% of the wine spending 4 months in chestnut barrels. This is then blended back in with the steel matured wine to give a sort of a more suggestion of maturity. Okay, I am extremely fortunate to try this wine, as the total annual output is only 800 of these 375 ml bottles. So I'm honoured. Thank you very, very much, Orlando, and your team. Okay, now let's not waste any time. Let's get into this, give it a try. Like I said, it's a passito. It's 14% alcohol by volume. It is a dessert wine by nature. Now let's see what we've got. I've heard so much about this from people at Terroir Vino, from my friend Caterina, who's a sommelier. She mentioned the name, said it was something rather splendid. I'm now going to taste it for the first time, so you are joining me. In fact, you may have tried it before, but certainly for me, it's a first. Oh, even the cork. So, let's get some in the glass. And look at that. I'll just put a small amount in there. I've used a slightly different shaped glass to get the aroma out, but also to illustrate the colour. It's kind of almost brandy coloured. Absolutely marvellous. It's an intense golden yellow. It's ambered there. This particular one is a 2009, so the aging, perhaps the part of this which has spent time in the chestnut barrels, that's helped with the colour, but certainly look at that. It's absolutely a beautiful thing to see. It's almost a crime to drink it, but having got a smell of it, I'll be unable to resist. Alright, so let's see what the smell is. Sun-dried fruits. I know that's exactly what it is, but I've got sultanas, much sweeter than that. I've got prunes, dried apricots. It's a rich, heavy, aromatic, sweet, absolutely mouth-watering sensation. I'm not going to use any clever sommelier terms because I'm not one, as I've told you before. I'll say it like it is, and that's what I've got here. Alright, now then, Cin-cin. I'm about to taste this for the first time, so join me. Pleasantly sweet, but it's not cloying, it's not too sticky. It's extremely smooth. Liquid gold would probably be an apt kind of suggestion. It's fruity. Yes, it's very sweet, but nothing unpleasant. There's no catch in the throat there. You think, oh goodness me, I'm drinking liquid syrup. It's not like that at all. And all the time you've got in the background there's still the suggestion of the sea there. There's a kind of saline, maybe that's what takes away from the total stickiness. It might be the fact there's a saline hint there to balance it out. Anyway, I'm drinking it alone. What should I have with it? Well, how about this? Dry cakes. And to be very slow food about the whole thing, how about some crumbly Genovese panettone? Okay, that's a dry cake from Genova. Or, let's go the other extreme and maybe have it with some blue cheese, a creamy gorgonzola, or better still, let's be honest, I could drink this on its own, as I'm going to now. So, Cin-cin, here it is, the Sciacchetrà from Cantine Litàn in Rio Maggiore, Cinque Terre, Liguria, Italy. Cin-cin, and once again, thank you, Orlando. Bye-bye.